these were two teams that were kind of hard to get a read on so far this year. And Marcus got a pretty dominant win over him, 21-7. Waxahachie scored in the first quarter and then didn't score again in the game. Justin Dinka, the running back, finally broke out for Marcus and had a big game after he'd been kind of corralled a little bit in the first two games. The Marcus defense obviously played well. And again, Marcel Brooks, the big-time linebacker for Marcus, who's committed to LSU, had another touchdown catch. So this is like he's starting to they're starting to utilize him on offense a lot too, which is good because, I mean, he's a freakish athlete and he needs to be on the field as much as possible. But I don't think they played him a whole lot on offense last year. But so that might be something that they've changed since week one, because I don't think he played offense really at all in that Bowie game that I saw. So
yeah, great outing by Marcus. Always good to get a W from one of our local teams that we cover. Hey, if you're just now joining us, we are going to attempt to do a segment later called the Fan Zone. And I did see there's a little delay on what I'm posting. I'm monitoring some things live over here as well. But there's a link out there. Boedeker, I know this makes you nervous, but I think the link is out there where a guest can pop on the link. As long as you have Google Chrome or an iPhone or an Android device, you can actually join our show live. It's like a radio call-in deal, but you're going to be live on with us, video and all, if you want to pop in here. And if you got the courage to go head-to-head with Boedeker, or if you want to ask me questions, we'll have you on here in about 15 minutes or so.
You know, there's a reason the number one sports talk station in America, The Ticket, doesn't take phone calls, right?
They do take phone calls.
No, they don't.
They do. I heard them just the other day.
Like one segment a week, they'll take like 3 phone calls.
That's true. And that's why we don't do it very often either, Boedeker. Hey, a quick story. I called in years ago when Troy Aikman was still playing, and I called in and thought I was being funny, and I got through.
I bet this went terribly.
We should find it on tape.
Oh, God.
I got through and was talking about Aikman.
What kind of dad joke did you make?
I didn't, and they were struggling a little bit. And I think they may have hung up on me, but I did get through to the hard line, actually, the hard line. All right. Hey, back to recaps. We'll get this train back on the track, sports fans. Next up, Boedeker, is Argyle at Tyler Chapel Hill. We expected this one, blowout, 66-14.
Yeah, blowout city. It was actually 7-7 at one point, but then Chapel Hill's fortunes changed in a hurry. It was, like you said, what we expected. Argyle rolled up over 600 total yards. Bo Hogaboom had another big passing game. I think he threw for 6 touchdowns, if I remember correctly. The defense was awesome again. I mean, this team is just proving to be loaded, and this was a game they should have won big, and they did. The first 2 games were against 2 of the better teams in the state.
Yeah.
Stephenville and Waco La Vega, and they needed a pretty dramatic comeback to beat La Vega, and ended up winning both of those games. So, I've said it last week, they have, if this was the old BCS where you rank based on strength of schedule and computer programs and everything, I think Argyle might be one of the top teams in the state, regardless of classification, just because they have the best resume in the state.
They got it blowing and going, that's for sure. Coach Todd Rogers, who we'll have here in studio. We tried to have him on through a phone call.
It didn't work out very well.
And we'll have Coach Todd Rogers here in studio here soon. You Argyle fans, that'll be a lot of fun, obviously.
Yeah, he's always fun to talk to.
Hey, next up, this was a rain-shortened game, or a weather-shortened, I should say. I think lightning played a factor.
Yeah. But
Brock traveled to Liberty Christian, 21-0, but the game was called with 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, this game blows my mind. I mean, we talked about it with Coach Young, too. I mean, Brock is, Liberty's proven to be pretty good, which is a little bit surprising given they have a new coach and new, lots of new players, and, but Brock is loaded, and they were like a slam dunk state contender in 3A Division 1, I think. And
hey, where's Brock located, by the way, for our fans out there?
It's out by Weatherford, that area.
Pretty good little haul then.
A little bit, yeah. But it's a was a basketball power for a long time. They just started football within the past 10 years, and they've turned into a powerhouse. But 21-0, this game just really shocked me. Like I said, like you said, it was called off with, more than halfway to play in the third quarter. So who knows what would have happened? But 21-0 to get up like that against Brock, that bodes really well for Liberty Christian. Andre Washington, their running back, only had 4 carries in the game, but he had 101 yards, and then one of those was a 97-yard touchdown run. So he had 3 carries for 4 yards on his other ones, but it was that big one that counted. And
so is Liberty going to surprise people this year? What are your thoughts? I know a lot of folks thought they were kind of in a rebuild mode, new coach.
Yeah, I thought so. They were such a defensive-minded team last year. They didn't have a whole lot on offense except for Washington. And Washington's back, but the defense lost a lot of people, and it sounds like they're pretty good again. So they could be a pretty dangerous team to have to play later in the playoffs. But we'll get to that a little bit more in our picks. But they have probably the most dangerous team in TAPS coming up this week that they would probably maybe get in the playoffs. So I don't know, but they are surprising some people, at least me. So
yeah. Hey, next up, Reedy. This was a big marquee game we were talking about. Frisco Reedy, Lake Dallas gets them in the playoffs last year and wins. Reedy travels into Lake Dallas for a Friday night showdown. Big first district game for both teams, I believe. I know it was first district for Lake Dallas. Weather impacted this one as well. I was down in Cleburne for a sports event, and I was monitoring these games, and I kept seeing weather delay. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, pesky lightning. They'll play in all kinds of rain, but if there's lightning, it's shut it down.
Yeah, totally understand that. 14-7, it was a tight matchup at half, but then 90-minute delay getting back to the field at halftime.
And Reedy looks like Reedy ran the ball all over Lake Dallas, which Mike Young did say that something they were going to have to guard against, and they ran for over 300 yards in that game. So Lake Dallas only ran for 30. Now, Lake Dallas isn't a big running team, but against a team like that, you have to be able to run the ball a little bit better than that. So, that caught up with them. Tough to lose your district opener, but this was a really good team. Really 2 really good teams, and that game right there very well could have possibly decided the district championship. That's a really good district in the top part of it anyway. There's about four really good teams in it. So, I don't know if Reedy will win the district title, but they're obviously a team that has the power to do that.
Yeah, Coach Young talks about, hey, the third game of the season doesn't necessarily determine, your season or your outcome, but, it was a tough loss. I had a chance to catch up with him a couple days after the game. Defensively, they keyed in on Depperschmidt. He ends up with 212 yards, where he's been averaging, well over 300, both in the air and on the ground. That was his first interception of the season, which kind of killed their momentum in the third quarter.
Yeah,
and had 1 touchdown. So
yeah, Lake Dallas will still be fine. They're obviously a playoff team, but as far as district championships go, this game could have hurt their chances at that. But that doesn't really mean a whole lot, to be honest with you.
Well, Boedeker, I think a lot of people are letting out of church things or getting back from their yoga classes. Have you ever done yoga, Boedeker? Little bit, in the privacy of my own home. There you go.
Yeah, I would never go to a yoga class.
So this reset the show a little bit. If you're just now tuning in, we are the DenCoGridiron Show. Please share out the stream to your friends on Facebook. Like and comment. We'd love to see your comments, and we'll try to answer any questions you have live on air. We do have our first giveaway of the season. Boedeker, if you could display that up there for me. Our friends at Suckle Busters are giving away a little Texas tailgater. And
Coppell, Texas.
Yeah. It's made right here in Coppell, Texas, based here in the local area.
Coppell, Texas, home of Greg Tepper.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And they say Suckle Busters is busting with flavor. I don't know. You've used some of their products. I know you're a big fan. I have too. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is good.
But what we want to do, because we know a lot of folks will watch this tomorrow or the next day, is we want to let everybody have a chance. So if you'll post in comments why you want the Suckle Busters Texas tailgate package, barbecue package, and what you're going to do with it, you're going to tailgate with it at a high school game. What are you going to do? Boedeker and I will pick a winner.
Bathe in it.
Yeah, bathe in it, whatever you want to do with it. We'll pick a winner and announce it on next week's show. And that'll kind of be our format for giveaways, I think, this year.
Okay.
Is we'll announce a prize or giveaway, and then each week we'll announce the winner.
There you go.
I think that's good.
Sounds good to me.
All right. There you go. All right. Next up.
Win you some Suckle Busters.
Yeah. Our friends at Suckle Busters. Good stuff. Yeah. Let's put that up there real quick. Suckle Busters. Hey, next up on the recap, Geyer travels way south. I think it was southwest of Fort Worth, southeast of Fort Worth.
West, I think.
North Crowley, on that Chisholm Trail. Have you ever traveled on that thing, or Chisholm Parkway?
Once. Yeah, it's nice.
I was on it. I didn't get a chance to go to the Geyer game, but I was down there near it in Cleburne, and I traveled on that Chisholm Parkway. That reminded me of like the George Bush in its infancy. I traveled like 30 miles, and other than a hospital and a couple neighborhoods, you don't see a whole lot.
Nice.
But that thing's going to develop and grow. You talked about it. Very unusual. Geyer starting the season off without scoring a point in two games.
Yeah.
2 games. So much needed win on the road and quite a bit of offense, 45 points.
Yeah, I think I said last week that if I was John Walsh, I would be disappointed if they didn't put up at least 40 points in that game, just because of the pent-up frustration, the fact that North Crowley's defense was susceptible. From what I gathered, they had a decent offense, but the defense was very suspect, and that's kind of what played out. They scored 28 points on Geyer, but Geyer got 45 against them, and that's what they needed. They just needed confidence. Excuse me. This next week when district starts in 2 weeks, I guess they have a lot of guys coming back from injuries, including their, really the heart and soul of their team, and running back Cadrick Cobbs. That's going to be a big difference, and a couple of big guys on defense are coming back that have been out all year. So this was a big one to get in your back pocket going into your bye week, and just get some of that confidence back. That say what you will, coaches might say, "Oh, everything's fine," but you can't tell me that those kids' confidence wasn't shaken after those first 2 games to go through 2 games and not score a single point. The defense was playing well, but the offense had done nothing, literally. So, to get out and score those points, see Eli Styrus have a big game offensively, which is people had been waiting on. Everything kind of clicked together and went well for Guy the other night. And I think they're going to go into their bye week now and come out ready to roll when district play starts.
Good stuff. Welcome to the show, Michelle Jarrett. She's already, I think, the first one to enter, wants to win the tailgating for the Geyer homecoming.
I have a question. Did you hear anything I said just now about the Geyer game?
I did.
Okay. Because it looked like you're just kind of in your own world. I was just curious.
Hey, as people out there know, I'm a master multitasker. I'm not always the best at any one thing, but I'm pretty good at multitasking, Boedeker.
Okay. So you're a master of none, you're saying?
We've got a few specialties, but we won't talk about those on the air here.
That's kind of weird.
Boedeker game recaps. I think that wraps us up. Pretty short week there on the recaps.
Yeah. The next week will be.
You know what? Shorter. I think we want to do now. We have, you guys can't see it, but when people come in as a show guest, and you'll know for the future, I can see you pop in down low here in our digital green room. We have a green room out here, and we have a few guests in here that want to pop on. Boedeker.
A few guests?
Well, we'll probably just have time to bring on one, maybe.
Okay.
But if somebody else pops in, depending on, we'll probably just bring on one tonight.
This is supposed to be a short show.
Okay.
Remember when we started this show and our very first time we went? Remember we were at your house and we practiced the first show the night before we did it. Remember that? We went through it. We went through the entire show the day before we started.
Yeah. We want to check technically how things were going.
We said, I think this would be good about 30 minutes a week.
That was my idea.
Yeah.
And then your content kept growing.
No, it did. I'm not blaming that on you.
That's okay.
I'm just saying the chance we have, it's already 8:32. We're already past 30 minutes, but the chance we have to have a quick show.
No, it's gonna stay quick.
Okay.
Because we don't have a live guest in here. We're gonna have fan pop on,
Okay.
and